We have all felt it. That slight spike in your heart rate, the way your thumb hovers over the screen, the world around you goes quiet, and your entire consciousness is focused on the bouncing of the three tiny gray dots. Someone is typing. And in that moment, those three tiny gray dots, the ellipses, they are the most important things in your life. They are not just punctuation, they are a vacuum. They are a cliffhanger. They are the potential of a conversation that hasn't happened yet. As long as they are bouncing, anything is possible. It could be an I love you. It could be I'm quitting. It could even be a we need to talk. But the moment they disappear and a full stop or a period appears at the end of the sentence, the magic is over. The potential gone, the loop closed. In my world, the world of marketing and strategy, we are taught to be period people. We are expected to be the experts on all matters. We spend weeks crafting 60-slide presentations, working on perfect pitches, trying to leave no stone unturned. All just to deliver an immovable, perfect period. But do you know what happens most of the times? The clients hate it. They pick at it. They find that one flaw in the 59th slide and they tear it apart. Why? Because they're not just looking for the idea, they're looking for their place in the idea. And no matter how perfect you make the pitch, if you paint the canvas without them, you're leaving them out. We don't just do this in our boardrooms. We do this in our homes with the people we love. I found out that I was obsessed with the period, with being right, with being done, with being finished. But today, I want to argue for the power of the unfinished. I want to show you why, if you truly want to persuade, innovate, and convince people, you need to stop talking in periods, and you need to start leading with ellipses. I became a better leader, a better parent, a better partner, all because of those three gray dots. Now, for years I looked up at that Don Draper moment. You know the one, the lights go out, the projector screen comes on, and the agency genius reveals his big creative idea. It's a performance, and it leaves no stone unturned. It usually ends with a definitive, thundering period. But I realized something over time, that most of the clients, they were not looking for a perfect pitch. They were looking for their place in the idea. Most of the ideas were pulled back. They were not approved because I had actually completed the entire story without them. They felt like guests in their own brand. And at times, it was like building them a house, asking them to move in, but they hadn't even selected the color of the front door. So I started experimenting. I tried what I call the strategic ellipsis. Now instead of 60-slide creative ideas, I would work on 15-slide straightforward strategic presentations. I'd still do all the work, the data, the analysis, even the big idea. But when it came to one critical, yet tiny component, I intentionally left it out. Let's say, for example, the amplification part. I would turn to the client and I would say, so, based on your industry experience and trajectory and knowledge, how do you see the idea that I just presented here reach 1 million more people? How do we amplify it? I would watch the magic begin. Immediately, their eyes would widen. They would lean in front. It was like I handed over them the pen. Immediately, it was not my idea. It was our strategy. And I saw the magic of the ellipsis play. In psychology, there is an entire notion. We don't look to see how perfect other people's ideas are. We look to see what our place in their ideas are. In agency language, we call this co-creation. In psychology, they call it cognitive ownership. But in simple terms, if you ask me, it's just the power of the ellipsis. By handing them the pen, I literally gave the client the one thing that every human being craves for, the chance to be the hero of their own story. Now it's easy to see how the ellipsis plays out in the boardrooms, but what about at home with the people you love the most? I found out I was obsessed with the period because I thought it was efficient, because it would save me time and, complete the task quicker. Take the relationship with my wife, for example. She comes home exhausted, tired after a long day, and she's venting to me about a client conflict. Now, I do what I do best as a marketer. I analyze the problem, I look for the quickest solution, and I turn to her and say, look, the solution is simple. Just tell your client XYZ. Now, she's standing there, not completed venting, and she's staring at me. In her head, she's thinking, he thinks my problem is trivial. He thinks the solution is easy. His brain is superior. And I think he should be sleeping on the couch tonight. So in order to safeguard my spot on the bed, I started leading with the ellipsis. Now, when she vents, I resist the urge to fix it. I listen to her. I hear her out. I let her complete the decision. I turn to her and I say, it's a very exhaustive situation to be in. How do you plan on handling it? Do you want to tell your client XYZ? Do you want to stay back and let it pan out? This way, I literally let the decision lie with her. I was no longer her consultant or her therapist. I was what I needed to be for her, her partner. But if you truly want to see the power of the period fail in real time, try telling a toddler to clean up his room. I tell my son, 4-year-old son, to clean the Legos in his room. He's staring at me in pure defiance. He doesn't see a clean room, he sees a dictator. So what did I do? Last week, I switched the punctuation. I replaced the period with the ellipsis. Now, last week, I whispered in his ear. I said, those Lego astronauts lying in your room on the carpet, there is a vacuum monster that's going to come in your room in 5 minutes. It's going to suck up everything in its path. I wonder who's going to save them. Who's going to transport the astronauts to the spaceship? You know the one, the plastic toy bin? Now immediately, psychology is telling him he has to see how this pans out. We have created what we call a curiosity gap. He needs to become the hero of this rescue mission. While I didn't tell him to clean his room up directly, in 5 minutes, all those astronauts are flying into the toy bin, packed and clean. So by handing over the ellipsis, you're actually inviting someone on an adventure. Now, I used to be extremely afraid of the ellipsis because it represents the unknown. The period is safe. It's a closed door. And in the world that we live in, it demands some kind of certainty. The 5-year plan, the happily ever after. But what I realized one of the most important things, is that you cannot always rely on the period. There are situations, especially the ones that involve more than just one person, more than just you, where you need to invite in the ellipsis. The greatest moments in history, the most iconic brands, the most enduring relationships, they are never finished. They are ongoing journeys. So tomorrow, when you enter that high-stakes meeting, when you sit down for dinner with the person you love the most, I want you to audit your sentences. See where you're trying to be the expert on every single matter who knows it all. See where you're slamming the door shut. And then I want you to do something terrifying. I want you to stop. Hand over the pen. Leave the gap open. Let the other person complete the thought. Because life's greatest moments, especially the personal ones that I have had, the aha moments, the big breakthroughs, they don't happen when one person has it all figured out. They happen in the gap. They happen in the silence. They happen with the 3 little dots that prove that the story isn't over yet. Your life, your career, your next big idea, it's not a period, it's an ellipsis. Thank you.